Hello and welcome to another episode of Alan Codes. We're working on World War II Armored Warfare. We're trying to get where they. Oh, what the hell? What were we doing? Oh yes, the next hazard. It's sand. You might say in a desert, really, in desert in Algeria, there's sand. Indeed, there is. Particular types of sand and sand that can make a tank bog down. Tanks did, of course, bog down more often in beach sand than anywhere else because that's what they found. But they could also do it in the desert because, well, there's sand in the desert. Even if it's stony desert like it is in this part of Algeria, there's still going to be places where there's soft sand. Let's move on. All right, so we've got blaze a new trail, go slow, kick it up a gear. Oddly enough, the key to getting over sand is to A, avoid it. Great. If you can't avoid it, go fast over it. And there we have it. There are going to be two tasks here. Can they see it ahead of time to avoid it? And B, are they going fast enough to go over it without bogging? Even if they bog down, there's plenty of ways to get out. First of all, by just backing out often. It's a tank. It's got treads. It's not a car with wheels that can get sync up to the hubs. The tank has a lot more give in that part of things. We will naturally allow them to do that. That'll cost them some time with the Italians, and that's fine. It will also cost them some reliability because sand gets everywhere, and that's generally bad. These well, I'm not going to get into the differential that I did research on sand, and it's all good. Let's actually start writing now. Flatlands. All right. Okay. So I allow them to take a penalty straight up. To get around that. You just want to go slow? Great. Stick to the familiar route. And safe route. There is a spot of deep sand. There's a spot of deep sand. The what do you call it? The grains pale green amid the traditional desert hues. Okay, and then we have current driver. It's around that. And continues on toward the road. And you continue, and you continue on toward the road. Carry on carefully. There's places where a tank could bog down in deep sand. A pale green sand. It doesn't quite fit the desert trap. Alright, so with that, you opt out and you say, just give me the penalty, and it'll be fine. All right. So, let's see. We'll reuse take the shot. For that, we will reuse it. Oh, okay. Excuse me. I slept well last night, but I didn't sleep enough. What are we doing? What are we doing? Observation greater than 30. Set take the shot plus 2. Greater than 24. Plus 1. All right, and then we go to this. Then we also have take the shot there. This means that, well, can they do it by just being able to observe things? Let's lengthen the parabola on that. Greater than 30. Less than 35. Greater than 34. If they've really put a lot of points into observation, which they could have by this point, I want to give them a benefit. I want to make sure that I want to make sure that they get something for that. They can have the worst driver in the world, and it's going to be okay. All right. Or do I? Or do I? Now that's a question. If driving is about evasion, observation is about seeing it first. You can, in fact, opt out of this. That's how we're going to break it down into 2 separate checks. Do they see it? Maintain a steady pace. I will give you a +1 for that. And I will likewise give you a negative for 1. Or do I? Or do I? No, let's not do that. If you're ripping across the way, if you've kicked up into high gear, let's say it blazes a new trail that the wider assault gun will have problems following. Now you get that's 2, but it's also -2 here. So the deal is, if take the shot greater than 1, straight up. If you've got a good observation and are proceeding slowly, not a problem. You don't bog. Now that was 4, so I can do a little bit of that. Yeah. Let's work in a little prose based on how fast they're going. This tank nickname. The tank nickname. Clanks along. Its treads digging into the stony soil. Digging into the and here we will do a if the same route to differentiate that if it happens to be. To the stony ruts you made before. Okay. Did we put it into high gear? Alright, and then we do that. And set no penalty. Clinks and clatters. Ripping into the... Alright. Lurches, hurries, it clanks and clatters, it motors along, its treads tearing into the stony soil that you made before. Alright, now I've used the same bit here, so what I can do is sub that out, save a little space, and just, as long as it's clean, it's clean. By clean I mean it doesn't have any stuff in the way, any sets or ifs or other stuff. Well, I mean just the variables really. The ifs can be managed. All right, if take the shot. Current mechanic. Calls out a warning. You might be having trouble hearing me. The air conditioner is going and back. I tried to time this between air conditioning runs, but well, it's summer and it's July 4th, so happy July 4th. If you celebrate it, great. If you don't, that's fine too. Still have a happy July 4th. It calls out a warning. Ahead lies a patch of pale green sand. Green sand. The kind that tries to bog down vehicles. On trucks. And maybe tanks. Alright, delegation greater than 50. Current driver. So glad I figured out how to do this properly. Before I was breaking up into if current driver equals so-and-so, then give a specific reply. These are more generic replies, and I will still split it up in case in case Owens is at the controls rather than whoever there was who was his possible replacement. I just don't want to have to deal with all of the additional coding that comes from trying to individualize it. I'll still keep some in there, but, you know, whatever. A driver is still a driver at some level. Knows what to do. Make a swift turn that edges the treads around the soft patch. Soft patch. Now, even if they all right, the driver knows your standing orders. Your standing orders. Don't bog down. All right, so congratulations, you managed to bypass. Okay, and that takes us away. All right, now we're going to, if they don't see it in time, set take the shot 0. Damn it. I also want to use take the shot. So if they've only got 1, yeah, I can do it that way. No, I can keep that. I can keep that, because if take the shot is equal to 1 or 0, that will set. I will not reset. Don't reset. Take the shot. As a bonus if they're at least a little observant. Tank. Nickname. Suddenly flounders. Suddenly lurches. A tread biting into soft. Pale green grains fly up. Fly up as it arcs into a full-on patch. Patch of deep desert. Okay. Suddenly it lurches. The tread's biting into. Behind you. Okay. So now here we have this test. How hard do we want to make this test? I don't know. How hard do we want to make it? Okay. I want an excellent gunner, an excellent driver to be able to get out of this. Driving equals 2, wins only in +1. Alright, so the maximum there is 5, the minimum there is, of course, 0. Let's say a driver alone, can a driver alone do this? No, you're going too fast, you didn't see it in time. If take the shot greater than 3, because they can have 1 carryover from observation, so 6 really. Yes, that means roughly 50-50. If they haven't been boosting up driving and everything else, that's their fault. Besides, this is only the second half of things, so. But current driver. But current driver, not that current driver. I need the. This is a string I want you to repeat and capitalize. There we go. Current driver doesn't let up, and the tank clanks clanks across the sand pit, sinking in only at the last when the front treads, when the front when the front part of the treads. The front part of the treads are already on stronger ground, already back on solid ground. So great. Well, first of all, that's driver XP. And then we're going to let them go onto the road. Tank reliability slightly reduced. They will pay for something. It's to be expected. Tank reliability. Current tank reliability. Too many variables. I've got to keep this down. I've got to make them specific, so that while I do have to look them up, the basic ones, the ones that run the game, are familiar to me. There we go. Tank stat. Because it is a tank stat. Set. Tank stat reliability current -2. And then they go on. And this will be an else. The tank shudders as the treads begin to dig themselves in deep. Oh, that's tank nickname. Yeah, tank nickname. The beginning of bog down. Without a towing craft, a tow truck in sight. Okay, so then all right, so you've bogged down. Hold on. Why is that 6-2? All right, now we're just going to go with 6-1 bog. That still keeps us relatively organized. Now, how are you going to get out of this? Well, that's a question. So their choices are to keep going forward, might bog permanently, lose no time. Stop and dig, which loses -2 time, but gets you out. Keep going forward. Toss to driver. Driver alone. Bog seriously. If the Italians are close enough and you fail, they haul your tank. So don't do that. That's one of the few times I'll be like, automatic death. You chose to keep going forward. You didn't want to lose any time. You've lost a lot of time. You have died. It's risky, but I allow them to risk. And since it's a choice, I feel as long as I put it forward, going forward, no matter the risk. And the other one is halt and dig ourselves out. And quickly back up and see if we can't get out that way. Get back to solid ground. All right, back up. Easier driver test. Lose -1 time. Okay, going forward. Okay, you can also use desert mats to firm things up. Halton. Mats to quickly dig it. Can't return to solid ground. There we go. Oh, I do need to make a few branches of the same route. If not, bog and die. Okay. Oh, I screwed that up. And almost had a double. Basically, that's bad code. Well, it's not bad code. It'll repeat something. It'll be annoying to the player. Close to you came before. Same route equal 1. Close by. So, there we go. Did the same route. Yeah. Into soft sand. And into sand at the edge of a rut. Okay, do the same here. Make the player feel engaged. All right, so that's going to be it for today. We'll deal with the bogging down and the consequences of that later. I may change it to be an instant kill. I'm going to let the player take a shot. You don't nail them first. So you can do a mercy, a one-shot. You get one shot to stop the AT gun before it nails you. It'll have to be a really good shot because the assault guns, are pretty well armored up front. They're meant to be assault. They've got heavy armor on the front, and though they may be open topped, if you can't see the top or get a shell in there, well, there you go. All right, but this has been Alan Codes. I hope you've enjoyed this little walk through the coding process, even though we're just doesn't seem like we're getting very far. We're getting further every time. And the best part about it is I won't have to recode too much of this. I may change some of the prose, but the coding itself should be up to snuff. And that'll make it easier when it comes time to edit it, because a lot of things have to happen in the editing. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. Take care and stay safe out there. Thanks.